Long ago, in a quiet land surrounded by hills and forests, there was a small village called Elmridge. The village was old, older than anyone could remember. Its stone paths were worn smooth by time, and its houses leaned gently, as if tired from standing for centuries. Every evening, when the sun slipped behind the hills, the village grew very still. Doors closed softly, lamps were lit, and people spoke in low voices, as though the night itself was listening. At the edge of Elmridge lived a woman named Mara. Mara was not rich. She was not famous. Most people barely noticed her at all. She lived alone in a small house with a wooden door that creaked when opened. Inside, there was only what she needed: a table, a chair, a bed, and one small oil lamp. That lamp was special. Every night, without fail, Mara placed it in her window and lit it before going to sleep. No one knew why. Some villagers said she was lonely. Others said she was strange. A few said she was simply afraid of the dark. But Mara never explained. Years passed. One winter evening, a heavy storm came. Wind howled through the village, and rain fell like it wanted to wash the world away. Lamps flickered and went out one by one. Darkness filled the streets. That night, a traveler arrived at the edge of Elmridge. He was old and tired, soaked from the rain, and weak from walking too long without rest. The road had disappeared underwater, and the forest behind him was too dangerous to enter. He stood in the darkness, unsure where to go. Then he saw it. A single, steady light glowing through the storm. Mara's lamp. The traveler followed it. He reached her door and knocked gently. Mara opened the door without surprise, as if she had been expecting him. She welcomed him inside, gave him dry clothes, warm soup, and a place by the fire. She did not ask his name, and he did not offer it. That night, the traveler slept safely while the storm raged outside. By morning, the storm had passed. Before leaving, the traveler looked at Mara and said quietly, "Many lights went out last night. Yours did not." Mara smiled softly. "That is why I light it," she said. The traveler nodded and left. Life returned to normal, but something had changed. Soon after, another traveler came, then another. Lost people, tired people, people who had nowhere else to go. Each time, they found their way by the small lamp in Mara's window. Still, the villagers paid little attention, until one year, a great silence fell over Elmridge. The river dried, crops failed, fear grew heavy in the air. People argued more, doors stayed closed longer. Hope felt far away. One night, the village elder announced that supplies were low and that everyone must think only of themselves. That evening, many villagers chose not to light their lamps, hoping to save oil. The streets became dark. But Mara lit hers. Late that night, a child wandered into the village. She had been separated from her family while fleeing hunger in a nearby land. She was cold, frightened, and close to giving up. She saw only one light: Mara's. The child reached her door and collapsed. Mara carried her inside, warmed her, fed her, and stayed awake all night to make sure she lived. By morning, word spread through the village. People gathered outside Mara's house. For the first time, they truly saw her. They saw the child sleeping peacefully. They saw the lamp still burning. They saw what quiet kindness looked like. The village elder stepped forward and asked, "Why do you always light your lamp even when you have little?" Mara answered slowly, "This my mother taught me," she said. "Darkness does not disappear by itself. Someone must light something." The elder lowered his head. That night, every house in Elmridge lit a lamp. The village glowed again, not because they were rich, but because they remembered who they were. From that day on, no traveler was ever lost in Elmridge, no child went unfed, and no one called Mara strange again. She continued to live quietly, lighting her lamp each night, not for praise, not for reward, but because she knew something simple and true. Even the smallest light matters. And in a world that grows dark too easily, kindness is the brightest lamp of all. Moral of the story: you do not need to be loud or powerful to change the world. Sometimes, all it takes is one quiet light that refuses to go out.